Begin prepping the bed for bedside panel installation. Use cover paper and painter's tape to keep the painted portion of the bed clean. Using an 80 grit sander, sand down all the metal mounting surfaces of the bed where it comes into contact with the carbon fiber panel. This will remove the factory primer and ensure a proper bond between the material and the epoxy. This step is crucial to the bonding process, so be sure to take your time and prep all the surfaces evenly. Use compressed air to blow off any residual metal dust after the sanding process. The self-tapping screw should be installed between the factory spot welds to ensure a tight fit. Using marking tape, cut 3 to 4 inch sections to mark the areas each factory spot weld that was previously drilled out. Remember, there are over 50 spot welds that were previously drilled out to remove the factory bedside, so be sure to mark every area along the bed between the spot welds. This will help you locate the correct areas of the carbon fiber panel that must be drilled through. In order to ensure a factory fit and finish, the carbon fiber bedside panel should be test fitted on the bed before final bonding. This process allows the mounting holes to be drilled through the carbon fiber and the metal bed before the bonding epoxy is applied. Pay close attention to the corner fitments and extremities of the carbon fiber panels. The carbon fiber panel lip must overlap the metal bed. Next, install the factory taillight assemblies to the metal bed, checking their fitment to the carbon fiber panels. After both taillights are installed, carefully reinstall the tailgate to test fit it with the carbon fiber panels. Check the gaps between the tailgate and the carbon fiber panels, and adjust the panels as necessary to ensure an OEM fit, with uniform, even gaps on both sides. The carbon fiber panels do have some flex, so some areas may need some pressure to fit correctly. The next step involves drilling a few holes in the corners of the carbon fiber panels and through the metal bed. These holes will allow you to install temporary Cleco fasteners, which will hold the carbon fiber panel in the correct location while the other pilot holes are drilled for self-tapping screws. Using an 1/8 inch drill bit, drill pilot holes near the tape marked areas along the top and bottom corners of the carbon fiber panel, and immediately secure the panel to the metal bed with Cleco fasteners. You may need to adjust the panel between each Cleco fastener installation. Some areas may require more than one pilot hole and a Cleco fastener to hold the carbon fiber in place. After installing Cleco fasteners in each corner of both carbon fiber panels, remove the tailgate and taillights from the metal bed. Now, continue to drill pilot holes in all the areas previously marked with marking tape, and secure the holes with the Cleco fastener. It's not necessary to install the Cleco fastener in every hole. Just use enough to keep every part of the carbon fiber panel secure in its final mounting location. Next, the edge of each carbon fiber panel should be masked off with 3 layers of tape. Use painter's tape on the bottom layer to mask off the entire edge of the carbon fiber panel. Use the thinner marking tape on top as if it's a second layer. Then line the edge of the panels with cover paper and masking tape. The smaller marking tape will aid in the removal of the top layer. This process will provide the painted portion of the bed with 2 layers of protection from any epoxy that may run during final installation. During final installation, pulling on the smaller marking tape will pull the cover paper off, leaving the bottom layer of masking tape in place until final installation of the carbon fiber panel is complete. Remove all Cleco fasteners and remove the carbon fiber panels from the metal bed. On each side of the metal bed, you will find 2 metal tabs that hold the inner fender liner in place. These tabs should be bent upwards, as shown, to provide proper clearance for the final installation of the carbon fiber panels. Begin the carbon fiber panel prep and final installation by wiping down the mounting surfaces on the bed with a cloth towel and isopropyl alcohol. Be sure to thoroughly clean all surfaces to ensure a proper bond. Now prep the carbon fiber panel the same way, along all the drilled pilot holes where they will mount to the metal bed. Load an unopened, unused, Ford approved 3M 58115 epoxy panel bonding canister into your pneumatic applicator gun. Dispense some adhesive onto the cardboard or paper to test and prime the applicator tip. Adjust your gun or tip if necessary. Using the method shown, apply an even amount of epoxy to one carbon fiber panel along all the mounting edges. Use a new, clean brush to evenly spread the epoxy across the mounting surface of the panel. Next, move to the corresponding side of the bed and apply a thin bead of epoxy all over the pilot holes you previously drilled. Use a new, clean brush to evenly spread the epoxy across the mounting surface of the metal bed. Once you have evenly applied and spread the epoxy on both surfaces, carefully place the carbon fiber panel onto the metal bed and adjust it to its final mounting location. Use body panel alignment pins in the corners of the bed to hold the panel in place temporarily as you begin to install the self-tapping screws. Do not fully tighten down the self-tapping screws with an impact driver. You may use the impact to thread the screws, but the final tightening should be done with a ratcheting wrench or by hand. Once all self-tapping screws have been installed through the pilot holes, begin tightening them down by hand with a ratcheting wrench. These screws do not need to be torqued down hard, as it may damage the carbon fiber itself. Simply tighten them enough for a secure hold. Wipe off any excess epoxy with a cloth and begin removing the first layer of cover paper and tape. Then wipe off any more epoxy and then remove the second layer of painter's tape. You'll want to wait a minimum of 4 hours for the panel bonding to set before removing the self-tappers, and then wait a minimum of 24 hours for the bonding to have a full cure. Once this is done, repeat the process on the other side of the truck. Now the epoxy is fully bonded, you may continue by installing the bed back onto the truck. Before placing the bed on the frame, the fuel filler neck must first be extended to the new vehicle width by using the supplied fuel extension, coupler, and hose clamps. Simply remove the clamps holding the fuel filler neck to the OEM flexible fuel filler hose and install the coupler and extension as shown. Then reinstall the fuel filler neck to the hose extension. Use the supplied hose clamps to tighten down both sides of the coupler and the filler neck to the extension. You will also need to install the supplied fuel filler neck extension support bracket. Installing the bed is the same as the removal process. It requires at least 4 people. Carefully lift and walk it over to the truck. Move over the rear of the frame towards the cab. Be sure to align the 4 plastic locating pins to their corresponding holes over the bed for a proper installation. Reinstall the factory bed hardware and torque it to at least 100 pounds. Reinstall your original fuel housing bucket. Now install your newly supplied painted APG fuel door to your housing. Finish the bed installation by reinstalling the rear bumper, tail lights, and finally the tailgate. Don't forget to connect all electrical components.